We were muted on Twitch for. I don't know why it stopped working.
Oh, okay.
But it did. So
Are we okay
we're gonna
now?
do this. We should be fine. Muted desktop, so it's not gonna pick up voice meter.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be Gucci gang.
Nice. All right. Yes. So, how was your week?
It was alright. Sorry about the muting. Yeah, well, let's just get it out of the way. This is gonna be kind of a short one. You got shit to do,
I got midterms to study
and I feel
for.
like shit. So, it's gonna be
Let's power through.
probably an hour long.
That should be okay.
That seems about how much content we got lined up.
It's snowy. Everybody's sick.
Yeah,
Everybody wants to die because it's
Montreal
the end of the school
has
year.
turned into the winter wonderland hell that I hate.
Yeah, so much.
It's really pretty from the inside, but when you work outdoors,
Yeah, it fucking sucks ass. Or
It
when
do.
you have to make any fucking amount of commute.
or
it
when
just
the
sucks
Atwater
dick.
Tunnel floods,
Yeah, that was
a thing.
I literally still one of the funniest images I've ever seen. Just like two
it's
little
really-
cars
'Cause you're
floating
like,
in the Atwater Tunnel.
I feel it's especially funny because you're like, why does that look so oh my god.
Oh, I was
That's-
just there yesterday.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hmm.
That's like the one place that anybody who's coming from like west on the island of Montreal in public transit, your bus inevitably will have to go through the Atwater Tunnel, and there's only like one really really laborious shortcut apart from that. So
Adds like 30 minutes to your commute.
exactly, which it literally did this morning. I made it to class 30 minutes late, which really stunk.
You missed out on music
I know.
knowledge, and now you will be reprimanded.
And now
10
Beethoven's gonna
points
come and
from
kill me in my
Gryffindor.
sleep. Yeah, 10 points from Gryffindor. Oh well.
Anyway,
I feel like
yeah,
J.K. Rowling deserves 10 points from Gryffindor for being a bitch.
called out.
You heard it here first, folks. Controversial opinion.
J.K. Rowling's a stupid bitch. Let's,
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I guess my week was rather uneventful. I did two things
Uh-huh.
of note. But there is one other thing I want to talk about, but it's kind of a news thing, I guess.
Okay,
I'll
we can
keep it
save that
after.
till.
But I did watch the new episode of Titans, which was great, and I will get into it in a second. But the other thing that I did, and it's the thing that I did immediately after recording the last podcast, was, and this is not really video game related, but it was interesting. I went to a classical concerto concert hosted by the Schulich School of Music at McGill University.
With a gun to your head.
Yeah, with a gun to my head and a deadline to write a paper. But I came out of it having really enjoyed myself, actually. So I guess the cool thing about it is, first and foremost, it was free.
Yeah,
And
which
I
is
think
nice.
what's great about the Schulich School of Music as an educational institution is that one of the many things that they provide is access to free concerts of classical music, jazz music, and a variety of different kinds of music. And that's so accessible for people who don't have the means to pay to go see a classical concert.
Yeah, especially if you're already
Yeah.
paying for the school and all that. Like,
Exactly.
you're not going to be able to.
Like, if you take a music class at McGill, chances are you're going to have to see a concert at some point. But the Schulich School of Music offers daily free concerts. So this was the finals to the classical concerto competition, which they do every year. And there's a bunch of people in categories like they do solo piano,
Yeah.
strings, so like cello, solo piano. And then what was the other one that I saw? I think there was another solo piano one. But
Was
I
it hype as fuck?
yeah, it was really fun actually. It was 8 performers, so 8 of the school's kind of best students. And it was usually one solo performer with their solo instrument,
Yeah.
and then they had somebody as accompanying orchestra. And the accompanying orchestra was usually just one piano player or somebody who would play the orchestra parts to accompany the solo portion of the concertos. They did 2 Mozart pieces, one of which was amazing. It was it's one of my favorite pieces of classical music. It's Mozart's Piano Concerto Number 23 in A major, which is like if you heard it, you'd be familiar with.
Yeah,
it's one of
yeah.
those really well-known melodies of his. So he did an amazing job. Really, really fantastic. The guy that I saw playing that particular one was actually the winner of the previous year's concerto competition. And he's a very well-regarded, actually, musicologist in training at the school who's had like articles written about him and stuff.
Damn.
So that was a really, really enjoyable experience
It's like
for me.
top-tier musicians right there.
Yeah, exactly. And then the rest, so it's 8 different students. They did 4 different concertos, so 2 students per concerto. And it was really interesting. And I mean, it's not like I've never been into classical music, but I don't think I've ever really gotten into the habit of going to see it played live.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting experience for somebody who's never really done that.
Mm-hmm.
And I would recommend that, like, I mean, I say this about a lot of things. I'd say this about theater too. But if you ever have the opportunity to go and see like a play or to go and listen to music live, like classical music or jazz music, I recommend it because it's a lot more fun than I think a lot of people would assume. I mean, the theater is all sorts of fun. And you can see tons of free theatrical events in pretty much any city you live in, so long as there's like a decent enough theater scene.
Mm-hmm.
Improv is always fun, and a lot of the time improv is cheap or free to see.
Well, Montreal's really cool for that too because we've got like the jazz festival.
Yeah,
and, shit,
and
which
we have
for
the Fringe
most
Festival
part,
for
yeah,
theater.
For the
We've
most
got
part,
Just
all
for
that
Laughs
shit's
Festival
free.
for comedy.
For
Yeah,
the most part.
yeah, and some of that shit's free. Yeah, if you go to like a
Like
good,
everything on Place des Arts
Yeah.
is
all that,
generally just.
everything in the other Place de Festival is always full. I mean,
Yeah,
Jazz
that's the
Fest,
one.
if you ever want to go see free music.
Yeah,
I mean, we even have great free punk festivals here because we have Pooza,
yeah, we got.
and they do those awesome free shows every year.
I wouldn't say it's good, but we have. Well, you know what? Fatal Fest.
Fatal
It's-
can be fun
Eh.
if you want to get your ass kicked.
I mean, no, it's not. Well, yeah, I don't know.
The Fatal apartments are kind of
Fatal
like.
Fest is
How do you
fun
describe that to
if
people
you
who don't
leave
know what
by
they are?
11 p.m.
Yes, exactly. Because that's when all the junkies kind of start showing up.
And this is when you've had enough beers to be like, yeah, this guy seems all right.
Yeah. I mean, how do we describe Fatal to people who don't know what Fatal is? It's an
Imagine
apartment
Mad
complex?
Max, but all in one building.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
It's a communal housing
I used to live
experiment?
there. No, they're just straight up lofts that a bunch of punks live in. That's it.
Yeah, okay. It's a weird kind
There's
of
a
thing.
semblance of community, but I don't know.
No.
Whatever. Anyway.
Definitely not. I mean, it's not your conventional housing.
No.
But there's other places like that in a bunch of other cities.
Yeah.
Fatal just so happens to be very scuzzy. I've only been
I
to
feel
the-
like it's way
I went-
scuzzier than people make it out to be, but like sometimes there's just that one thing that happens, and you're like, "This is why it's always justified.
Yeah.
This is why
No,
I have no
exactly.
arguments."
The
you know?
one time I went there, I saw a dude straight up shoot heroin. And I was like, I could have lived my whole life not seeing somebody shoot heroin right
What was
in
it?
front
We
of me.
moved. I was moving like a long time ago. I no longer live there, but I was moving to an apartment near Fatal, and we were just bringing boxes and shit, and like we walked past the Fatal, and like Acorn's like a really small street, and just across the street there was a dude laying on the ground with like 4 people around him. We were like, "Is he okay?" And like we found him like this, 100% just a dead fucking guy.
Jesus.
It was super like, well, that's the tone for this neighborhood, I guess.
Yeah, basically.
But we digress. This is a video game podcast, not a
well, we
not to
had
talk shit about
GamePunx.
Montreal boroughs.
It was punks related.
Yeah, kind of. Well, unfortunately.
The worst part of it, pretty much. But yeah. So that was kind of what I did majorly last week, which I went to that concert. But then I also watched episode 6 of Titans, which was titled Jason Todd.
Nice.
So you can see who this episode was kind of focusing on.
Bruce Wayne.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you'd
Inevitably.
be surprised it was Dick Grayson.
What?
So the entire premise of this particular episode was following up from the last episode where Jason basically saved Dick from the doctor who had set the nuclear family on them.
Yeah.
And helped him dispatch all like the gunmen that he had brought into the apartment. They drag his comatose body to like Dick's car, stick it in the trunk, and Jason introduces himself to Dick as the new Robin. And Dick's feeling a little weird about this because it's only been about a year since
Yeah, it's
since
like you
he
already
stopped
adopted
being Robin.
another orphan.
Exactly. He's like he couldn't even fucking contain himself. He had to get somebody else. So you learn basically all the stuff that is kind of key to Jason Todd's character. Like, he found Bruce Wayne because he tried to lift the Batmobile's hubcaps. Bruce said, "You got some balls. I guess you're Robin now." Which,
Gun to his head is like, you got one choice, or you got two choices. Just either you're with me, or I kick your ass.
yeah, either you
And
come
it's
be
like,
Robin or I kick your ass. But
okay.
unlike
Just sticks the
yeah,
R on his forehead.
unlike Dick, Dick resents the fact that being Robin made him a more violent and volatile person, and it's clear that it's damaged him.
Sounds like he's projecting.
But I'm pretty sure that Jason doesn't feel the same way. He seems to relish in the violence that he commits as Robin.
Also, he's like
Just like the wanton destruction for him is
Mhm.
enough to convince him that he likes the job. And he's got very, very hardline views on where it comes to kind of taking care of criminals, where he pretty much believes solely that, like, if I'm Robin, that means I can fuck people up beyond repair, potentially even kill them if I
no
want
holds
to.
barred.
But the interesting thing is that, well, Jason is going around not shutting the fuck up about how much he loves to be Robin and how much he loves to
Breaking
kick
dude's arms
to
and be
kick
like, I
the
love
literal
this.
shit out of people. Dick is being contacted by I guess, like, somebody from his past who is linked to the man who murdered his parents, Tony Zuko. Now, Tony Zuko was unfortunately killed in front of Dick, and Dick at the time pretty much let him die.
Yeah.
Because he hated him and he wanted him to serve real justice. So he said, I'm gonna let you fucking die right here and now. But once Tony Zuko died, the FBI lost a valuable informant. They were going to let him out of jail because he was going to inform on the rest of the Maroni crime family, who at that point were running Gotham. But yeah, because Dick let the Maronis gun him down, they lost a valuable informant. The Maronis continued their crime surge on the city, and to top it off, Tony Zuko's own son and his son's family and his wife got fucked over. So witness protection let them out because Tony's no longer alive, so we have no reason to hold you here. And they were immediately targeted. The son is the only one that survived, and he is now trying to get revenge on Dick Grayson by systemically hunting down and murdering all the people who were with him at the circus, all his circus family, his friends. And so everybody, with the exception of the character who is kind of like a paternal figure for him, whose name was I think his name was Clay. I think his name was Clay, but he was he was the circus strongman.
Yeah.
And he was like Dick's paternalistic figure within the circus, I guess, when his parents weren't around. And he's the only one left on the list that hasn't been murdered. So Dick goes with Jason to kind of track him down and make sure that he's safe and to find out who's killing his family. And that leads to a really, really interesting conclusion that I actually don't want to go too much into because I really liked how it played out.
All right, cool.
And
I'm gonna
I want
pick
you
it
to
up,
I want you to see that for yourself. But I thought, like, as a conclusion to the first kind of rounds of episodes, like the first half of this season of Titans, it was a great kind of emotional midpoint to hit.
All
I
right.
think it's the first time within the story that Dick fully realizes the implications of what he has done. That the destruction and harm that his violence as Robin has caused other people and has caused himself. I don't think he was ever properly fully aware of it until this episode.
Strong character development.
Yeah,
happened.
this was a very, very strong character focused episode. The rest of the episode kind of focused on I guess the rest of the Titans learning about Batman and kind of getting pulled into Batman's mission, I suppose, where they all kind of go to meet Jason and Dick at a safe house, and because Jason is there, it begs the question, well, I thought you were Robin. And they get kind of into it, and they start kind of understanding what's going on. And there's just a little more, I want to say there's like a little more sexual tension now between Starfire and Robin, especially after they like had sex in a previous episode.
Yeah.
So they're starting to really develop their relationship together. And you can see there's like palpable sexual tension between them when they're discussing kind of what to do with Dr. Adamson. Because he's just kind of lying comatose in the bathroom of the safe house.
Yeah.
He's like in the fucking sink.
What do we do with this guy?
I think a crucial piece of information that I don't know if they really properly mentioned in the previous episodes is that the people who hired Dr. Adamson and the cult itself are not just looking to summon Raven's father or whatever, but Raven's father actually runs the cult.
Oh,
So
shit.
Trigon is somewhere looking for his daughter actively, and not just kind of being looked for from within her.
Yeah.
Which was like, oh shit, okay, so Trigon's actually out there somewhere, which means I'm sure that by the end of the season they'll have to confront Trigon.
Yeah, I feel like that's a good end of season cliffhanger to be like, season 2?
Exactly, and that's a good villain. I know that for a fact that Trigon is pretty much the primary villain of this season.
Yeah.
And that the next season they're going to start slowly introducing Deathstroke, who is, of course, like the Teen Titans villain. Like, whenever people think of Teen Titans villains, they think of, like, the Brotherhood of... I think they just call them the Brotherhood, but it's like the, you know, like Gizmo, Jinx, them. And then, yeah, it would be Trigon and Brother Blood and Deathstroke. Like, that's pretty much the Teen Titans villains. And they're usually all working together or something like that.
I really hope they do Jinx justice.
Yeah, that would be cool.
That's a strong character design.
That is a really good character design. She's a cool character,
Mm-hmm.
just in general, actually.
Yeah.
She's really, really fun. Her
Did you
powers
ever
are
play
cool.
that weird Teen Titans Flash fighting game?
Yes,
on
I did.
CartoonNetwork.com?
I did.
That
the
shit was hype.
Battle something.
Yeah.
Teen Titans fighting game. Yeah, it's like a Flash fighting game.
Yeah, it
I
was
remember it was
super
jank
fun.
as hell, but I loved it.
It super
Yeah.
was. Oh, man.
Some of those old Flash games on CN were real fun.
I wonder if they're still there.
I'm sure that you can. Somebody's like uploaded and saved them.
Yeah, maybe. I want to play the old like YTV games too.
Yo, yeah,
Like
yeah,
that
yeah.
Era of weird like Nickelodeon games and YTV
Oh,
games.
Pumpkin, you're digging your
You gotta
claws into my pants.
get out of there.
Yeah.
We're doing a podcast, you dumb cat. Oh fuck, stupid.
Ouchie.
asshole. Okay, well,
You're
our
rough,
balls
Pumpkin,
have been
you're rough.
exposed.
You're rough. You got them claws.
Get out of here.
But I think that was a pretty great episode. So as a midpoint for the season to kind of end there,
Yeah,
it's been very,
and it
very
makes sense to
strong.
have like a emotional character development thing on episode 6 if you're doing 12 or 13 episodes.
Exactly, because then you can kind of rearrange the character dynamics and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And
if it takes too long, you just kind of it drones on and people are like
exactly,
"Eh."
nobody changes.
Yeah.
And I think this is a good starting point to see Dick self-actualizing, because I think by the end of the episode, he's pretty much like, I'm not Robin anymore. And that's really, really cool to me.
No, not attack. Ugh. Anyway.
So I think that, this is like an important stepping stone to him becoming Nightwing and self-actualizing as his own individual, separate from Batman's legacy. So that's going somewhere, which is really nice. And there was kind of, you get to see the Batmobile in the episode, so the Titans version of the Batmobile.
Is it a cooler? Is it better than the Christian Bale one?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It doesn't look like a dumb truck like that one
Exactly.
does. How do I describe it? It's kind of like the 60s Batmobile where it's got like the two cab cockpits.
Yeah.
But,
Because you need
kind
Robin.
of kind of contemporary.
He built the car to have a sidekick.
Another thing about Jason is that Jason's actually allowed to drive the Batmobile and Dick's not.
Oh,
Dick wasn't.
Dick's jelly.
There's like a whole bunch of stuff about, I think, Jason and the way Batman treats Jason differently from him that pisses him off. And it's clearly it's kind of petty jealousy a little bit,
Yeah.
but some of it is also like, I'm like your literal adopted son, and he is a street kid that you met like a year ago.
Yeah.
Why is it that he gets the advanced suit,
It's
and the advanced tech.
It's that weird TV trope of like in kids cartoons when like the friend goes over to the friend's house and the parents are like, oh yeah, blah blah blah,
Yeah.
but get mad at their own kid, and the kid's
Yeah.
like, why are you getting mad at me but you treat him blah blah blah. It's like,
That's
you
pretty
live
much
here,
what this
man.
is.
Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's a pretty interesting thing to kind of see a live action version of Jason Todd, because I mean, I don't think they've ever done one.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure this is the first. This is definitely the first truly comic accurate / significant adaptation of Dick Grayson as a character.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Jason, they haven't even gotten close to doing him yet. But I mean, Jason, obviously, what happens to him is pretty much inevitable. It's part of his character. He dies.
Yeah.
He's killed, and he
then
comes
Batman
back as Red
loses
Hood.
his shit.
Yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. It fucks Batman up really bad because it's the first time that any of his partners fucking died. It's his worst nightmare, really. Is that his personal crusade that he roped them into
Hurts them.
has hurt them in a way that it can never be fixed, you know? And that's the thing that he resents the most about himself. And that's why he tries to not work with partners a lot of the time. But he inevitably does, because he craves the attention and he craves the gratification and validation of having somebody out there helping him.
Yeah.
But anyway,
He wants someone on his team.
it was a really good episode. I enjoyed that one immensely. So
Yeah,
I'm
and I'll be
hoping that-
picking that up this week, so we'll
There
be
we
able
go.
to actually.
and I think episode
Back in
7
college.
should be coming out this week. I don't know if they're taking a week break or something, or if there's a small
Yeah,
production break.
mid-season would
They might do a mid-season.
make sense for like a
because
half
it
break.
is airing weekly on the DC streaming service. Like, they're not just streaming it, like binge streaming it.
Yeah.
But
That which kinda sucks.
It's
I'd
running like
rather-
a TV season.
Yeah.
On TV does, except it's not 26 episodes.
Mhm.
But I think that was pretty much my week so far.
All right. I continued a bit of Attack on Titan. We got to the female Titan.
Okay.
Did we finish that? Yeah, the fight happened. Eren got ripped the fuck out of his flesh mech.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much where we are right now. So it's like, whoa, who that? Who that girl? What's her number?
Who her is.
The back of your head is ridiculous.
Yeah, it's really weird. It's all nasty looking.
It's gross.
I mean, the Titans are just...
You living there?
They're nasty looking in general,
Yeah.
but... ew.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, that's where I am on Attack on Titan. Still enjoying the like breadcrumbing of the like, oh, you thought this is happening.
yeah,
Oh,
the kind
someone
of
else
the-
has the power, and they're
mystery.
inside the team. Who it be though?
Mhm.
I think I know who it is, but I don't even want to. Like, I don't want to discuss it at all, because even a hint of a correct or wrong answer. Is
Yeah.
just like I don't
think
want
you
it.
might- I think you might want to think that through before you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the
But I
reveal's
got a
gonna be
pretty
good for
fucking
you.
good idea who it is.
And
Anyway.
I'm sure you're right.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's a pretty easy.
This series doesn't
I
do
think.
an amazing job of keeping that particular
Yeah.
one kind of hidden.
but
But it's interesting.
yeah.
It's definitely kind of it's a cool direction at this point where you're experiencing it now.
So that happened. Got a little bit further into Bravely Default.
So where are you now?
Now I am doing the Clock Tower dungeon. So
Ah.
I finished the Windstone.
Mhm.
I have that now. Did the Juliana stuff.
Yeah.
We are. I just saw the. Fuck, what's his name? The Black Knight that looks really fucking dope.
I'm trying to remember his name. He has a really cool name too.
Yeah. Like,
Alternus.
Alternus. Yeah.
Alternus.
Just met him, and we are on our way to the other town. But I saw that there's the little blue exclamation point still in Caldisia.
Yeah, Caldisia.
So.
Or Caldisla? something like
Yeah.
that. I don't remember.
Japanese names.
Japanese
even
pretending
like-
to be like European.
Yeah. Anyway. So
Caldisla.
yeah, I'm in the Clock Tower dungeon doing that right now.
Cool.
I also picked up P3 again, just to kind of play through it and refresh my memory. I just got past the hotel bit with the double boss. I love that game. That game's great.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, not much to say. It's just a good fucking
really,
game.
really fun. I beat the DC supervillains just the other day, like the main campaign.
Yeah. How was that?
It was fun. That's a really, really charming game. It's
a Lego game.
The best thing about the Lego games really is that whenever especially like the superhero ones, they always play around and have a fun time with the mythology of those characters. So the ending kind of reveal is that the Earth 3 supervillains were sent there by Darkseid to help locate the anti-life equation, but your character who you create for the game like is actually from Earth 3, and they actually possess the key to the anti-life equation. So you get kidnapped by Darkseid, and you have to go to Apocalypse to rescue them, and you kind of play through all these Apocalypse type things. Like you have to go into the fire pits, and you fight Granny Goodness, and you fight Kanto, and I think you fight Vermin Wunderbar, and like a whole bunch of those wacky Jack Kirby New Gods characters. And then you fight Darkseid, and it's real fun. And then the very end of the game, the plot, I guess, resolves itself when you use the anti-life equation to make everybody in Apocalypse nice. And it's just really funny because suddenly Darkseid and like all the parademons are very nice.
Heel turn.
Well, exactly. You just make them all nice and passive, and they just like, oh, okay. All we want to do is pick flowers and pet dogs.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. But that's the ending of the game, and I thought that was really cute. And then you just kind of have to choose at the end, like, choose a side. Are you going to be a hero or a villain? And I'm like, I want to be a hero. Fuck this shit.
I want to be a good guy.
I want to be a good guy.
Like, if the video game lets me be an asshole, I'm like, yeah.
I wanted to be a good guy because Lex Luthor was being a real dick, and I was like, I don't want to.
I don't want
Lex Luthor.
I don't want Fred. Yeah,
fuck Lex Luthor.
But
it was fun.
I'm also streaming mostly Darksiders 2 because 3's coming out in like 2 days now.
Something like that.
Yeah, it's coming out on the 23rd.
God, that's so hype! I can't believe that's finally coming.
I'm pretty excited. I mean, it's gonna be a Darksiders game. I don't think it's gonna be revolutionary or groundbreaking.
No,
but those games are super fucking fun.
I mean, it's basically just what if Todd McFarlane made Zelda?
That game's fun. It's just a lot of bugs.
Totally. They're like Bethesda game bugs.
They're funny. Darkseid. There's one where like you have to fight one of the creators or whatever.
Like the angels?
No, like they're like giant dwarfs.
Oh, they're like the big guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the what am I saying? You gotta fight him in like a one-on-one match, and I don't know what happened, but I lost, and I was like, oh fuck it, I'll go back and like try again.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't. I selected the option. He went over, started hitting one of the target practice things, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, why aren't you? Let me talk to you. I want to fight you again. And then he's just like, oh, you beat me. And I was like, what the? Okay, I guess. Sure. Easy win. I didn't want that easy win, but whatever. So that was fun. I'm going to probably continue that after we wrap this podcast up.
That sounds like a good time.
Might take an hour or two to just chill out.
That game was really, really fun.
Yeah.
I had a good time when I played Darksiders 2 on Wii U. That was just a very enjoyable.
It came out on Wii U?
Yeah, they did a Wii U release of it.
Yeah, it's true. I forget the Wii U exists all the time.
Then there were so many good games on it too.
Yeah. The one I regret missing the most is Tokyo Mirage Sessions.
Yeah. What a weird game.
Do you want your idol persona to be Fire Emblem?
Yeah, it's really weird.
Yeah. But
the neat thing about the Wii U is the neat thing I should say, maybe more like the thing that I see happening with the Wii U is that in a couple of years' time,
there'll be the Wii U Classic.
It'll be like, you know how we look at the Dreamcast now?
Yeah.
We're going to look back at the Wii U fondly like we did the Dreamcast.
I mean, there's great games, and like the thing that killed the Wii U was pretty much the same thing that killed the Dreamcast, in which it was like the marketing sucked and the games that came out weren't. I mean, they had like gems.
They had gems, yeah, but they didn't have games with
like
mass
no one was like,
appeal.
I want to spend $300 on a console to get like 2 games that interest me.
Exactly, like the only games that people wanted to play on the damn thing were like the HD Zelda remakes.
Yeah,
and
that Wind Waker, though.
Those are both really beautiful games, and I don't even really like Twilight Princess that much as a game, and I thought that HD port made me really want to play it.
Fair enough.
Because I think that's kind of a weak Zelda. Not
Yeah.
design-wise, more so like
Just gameplay-wise.
gameplay-wise. There's a
Yeah,
lot of
it's-
issues I have with
It's one that went very, like...
it.
It was just underwhelming
It
to
feels
everyone.
so fucking barren.
Yeah.
Like, the world feels
Unlived in.
unlived in. Well, it feels artificial.
Video game.
Yeah, it feels like when people kind of imagine what like a boring, empty open world would be like.
Yeah.
That's what the open world and open world, quote unquote, in
Mhm.
Ocarina of Time isn't, and what the one in Twilight Princess is.
Yeah.
Because the best thing about the open world of Ocarina of Time is that it's small.
Mm-hmm.
It's really small.
Yeah. And, like, the overworld isn't super far away. Like, all the places that you need to go to aren't
Exactly.
impossibly far. And then,
Versus
like, it feels...
fucking, yeah. Twilight Princess. Hyrule Field is fucking huge.
Yeah.
It takes up most of the map,
They wanted
and
you
there's
to listen to that
nothing
music.
in it. It was good music.
Yeah, it was.
Music in that game is
It's always
really
great.
good. But
I also part 5 is continuing to be great. Of JoJo. The torture
good.
dance memes.
Oh my fucking
top
god! I don't think
tier.
I was ready for that
I
because
I don't
that
think
was fucking funny and caught me totally off guard. But it's JoJo just making more memes. I mean,
yeah.
it's one of
JoJo
the
memes
best
will never die.
Meme anythings really, because it's relentlessly weird and goofy.
Yeah.
That shit was
Another thing
good.
I forgot to mention was I cannot stand waiting for weekly episodes of JoJo. So I started just reading ahead.
Yeah,
Um,
as you do. That's what I
Yeah.
did a couple years ago.
so
I
I'm
did
gonna
it during like the drought between parts 2 anime and part 3
Yeah.
anime. I read every
Everything.
day. I read chapter of chapter of chapter, and I made it all the way to part 7.
Yeah, well, that's my plan. Is I'm just gonna be like, all right, fuck it. I'm gonna from now on, I'm reading JoJo until there's no more JoJo to read.
And you know it keeps going, so you'll always probably have something. Which
Yeah.
is good. Until Araki takes a hiatus, but he's a machine, and he apparently does not want to.
He's great.
He just never fucking stops. That guy. It's crazy. He's literally just he just does it mechanically.
He's a
It's
manga
like
machine.
It's like instinct to him.
He
Okay,
just
so
makes it up as he goes along.
We got some news.
Yeah, we're gonna go into the news so that we can wrap up this podcast a little earlier than usual.
There's some wacko news though.
Let's start with the Devil May Cry anime being announced, because that's a fun little tidbit. So the producer of the Castlevania anime
Oh
the
yes.
rights to
Do a Devil May Cry.
to do a Devil May Cry, and he pretty much is quoted saying, "I'm glad I got it so that Hollywood doesn't fuck it up like they fuck everything else up."
What did he say? Those jabronis?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, let's read this. While Shankar doesn't give any specifics in terms of what this all means for the series' overall story, he did inform us that he acquired these Devil May Cry rights myself so the jabronis in Hollywood don't fuck this one up too.
Which is a great quote. And this is him cosplaying
As Dante.
all the things.
Adi Shankar is like 90s comics became a man. Like, that's kind of his aesthetic.
Physical
If you've ever
incarnation.
seen a picture of him not in cosplay, he looks like he's in cosplay anyway. He has long, like, raven dark dyed hair, and he always wears dark eye makeup. He's goth as fuck. Like,
Well-
it's really, really funny.
Good.
So I think he loves this gothic shit, and he enjoys being the one who can, like, finance projects like this.
Yeah, and I mean, if he's the showrunner, I think it'll be fine. He's
Yeah,
gonna probably
totally.
slap together a really good team that can maybe do something with Devil May Cry.
He
Devil May
always
Cry, to be
does.
fair, seems to be a rough thing to try to adapt into anything but a video game.
Yeah.
Because it is a video game,
I mean, it's the most
It's-
video game-ass video
Yeah.
game ever.
and like. But at the
Man,
same
there he
time,
is.
so
Look
is
at him.
Castlevania. Yeah, with his
He's
fucking.
a fucking goofster. I love him. He looks like an Insane Clown Posse fan.
Oh no. But yeah, that's fun. That'll be great. Probably, maybe we'll see.
And I mean, he's teasing that he's gonna want the Devil May Cry series to take place in the same
universe,
as Castlevania.
which can
I don't know
bring
how
a bunch of fun, goofy shit.
I don't know how that fiction's gonna work, but I'm curious.
Yeah, the timeline seems
also
a little
like
off, but
two different companies owning those characters. Like, will Capcom and Konami want to, cross that shit over?
I didn't even think about that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, the multiverse. But multiverse, maybe it'll just have kind of calls to Castlevania. Because, again, Dante is in, modern, quotation marks, day.
Yeah, I mean, it's markedly more contemporary than Castlevania, which is usually Castlevania set in, the 1800s.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe Dante will, be like, hey, my friend Teddy Belmont.
Teddy Belmont. Fuck.
Yeah.
I hope that's what they do.
Dude, that would be actually great.
Yo, Teddy, how you be?
Hey, Belmont.
Hey, remember when we fucked Dracula?
You got that pizza? Belmont. God damn it.
That would be pretty good, actually. So yeah, that's hype. I can't wait to watch that.
Yeah, speaking of hype, Jump Force, aka best name for a video game.
Yeah,
they have announced that Cell and Piccolo, the best Pickle Boy, will be in Jump Force.
That's all right by me because Piccolo is my favorite Dragon Ball character. So
As
fuck
me
yes.
too. Piccolo is my favorite Dragon Ball.
Hands down. He kicks
the designs
ass.
look pretty good. Cell looks weird, but I mean,
he's got the texture.
Yeah, it's got the textured heads, so that's what's throwing me off.
I guess it's like bug chitin, so it kind of looks like bug chitin.
Yeah.
It's neat.
Oh, you get this fucking just Cell backhanding the fucking
Gone.
Gone.
From Hunter x Hunter, yeah.
That's pretty good.
That's fun.
I'm glad they didn't give Gone his stupid shirt.
His green coat.
Yeah. And
well, he's dressed like
you
he
got
would
Piccolo
when he fights.
with the classic giant shoulders. And
and his turban.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, he looks cool. He's just such a good fucking design.
This game will be goofy and have no grounds
as
a fighting game, but it'll be fun.
I'm so This is gonna be the best anime fighter ever.
Man, I'm just waiting for them to announce one of the Joesters.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But I feel like that'll be either a
I
DLC
really want
character
Jump Force to come out
or
for the Switch.
the end. Oh, it for sure will hit the Switch.
It has to.
It's
because I will buy the shit out of that. It just seems so fun.
I'm positive it will because Bandai Namco's pretty all-platform, and if Dragon Ball FighterZ and Xenoverse go onto the Switch,
I mean, FighterZ is on the Switch.
Yeah. FighterZ is recently on the Switch.
I need to get on that because it's a really good game. I don't have it because I'm stupid.
Other than that, PS3, wow. Tired, Ben. Sony, not being at E3 this year is weird, but I'd rather that than have a shitty Sony show.
I had somebody say something that I thought was really funny. They said, Microsoft finally has an exclusive at E3, a live conference.
That's pretty good.
We'll finally have an exclusive.
Finally, Xbox fans have something to
look forward to.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, now they can finally have like a gotcha over the
good
Sony
job, Sony.
fanboys.
Yeah, so that just kind of cements the rumors. Well, not really cements. It doesn't really prove anything, but I mean, it just kind of adds to the rumors of a PS5 being in the works.
Which I think those rumors are pretty substantiated. I'd say if you think they were not doing that, you have no idea how business.
Oh, for sure, they're super working on it. It's just like I feel like
totally coming out.
That's why they're not doing it, is because they're like we
have nothing.
We're working on it, but we can't announce the PS5
we all
yet.
saw at BlizzCon what happens when you have nothing to show people.
Yeah, you know what that shit fucking. The worst thing I found out is that Diablo 4 was supposed to be announced at BlizzCon, but they canceled it. No, they canceled the announcement.
Didn't they say they were working on it?
Or
was that post?
It was post. They were like, "Don't, guys, please stop."
They could have just done a Bethesda and nobody would have been mad.
I know. Well, that's the thing.
If
they had
shitty
started
Elder Scrolls mobile game, look. Also,
Diablo
Elder Scrolls
4,
6 is coming.
Or if you fucking do Diablo 4 and then do the thing, everyone's like, "All right, who cares? Diablo 4 is coming."
Put like a black slide with like Diablo 4 written.
You know what I saw after the fact too? That I thought was super funny was a legit April Fool's joke that Blizzard did a couple years back was a Diablo mobile game.
Oh my god.
So it was just
wow.
Yeah. It was an actual April Fool's joke.
That's what happens when you join a conglomerate with Activision.
Whoop.
Suddenly, y'all are like, the mobile market.
I don't think we can really do this one yet because we haven't.
We don't really know too much about it.
But apparently, the Russian boss in Nintendo.
Yeah, so the boss
Nintendo
of the
Russia
Nintendo
boss?
of Russia, which is a place that exists apparently.
Yeah, Russia. Russia exists.
I mean,
Russia confirmed.
Russia is real, but Nintendo of Russia?
Yeah.
Question mark? What the fuck? I
Didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently he's a dick.
That's
And he's got
unfortunate.
some complaints.
Yeah, a lot of complaints. Like most of the employees of the company are launching a lawsuit against him for malpractice.
So it's not looking good for Nintendo of Russia.
Well, I mean, it's looking like something which it previously wasn't, I guess.
I mean, there's there's better days on the horizon.
This is Nintendo's statement on the company. They said, "We are aware of a video uploaded to YouTube recently in which Nintendo Russia's general manager,
Yasha Hadaji
is seen losing his temper.
Losing his temper.
During an altercation with an external vendor in charge of a Mario Kart live stream. Mr. Hadaji's conduct and choice of words were most certainly not in line with their company values. We are also aware of further allegations that have appeared in the wake of this video and are now running a thorough investigation. We take these matters extremely seriously and will not comment further while we are running the investigation."
So someone's gonna lose their job.
Yeah. Well, this guy's fucking job is done.
Yeah.
He's over with. But also, like, of all the companies to run internal investigations and stuff, I feel like the companies that hate bad publicity the most tend to either be on one end of this spectrum, that they actually will run a thorough investigation and try, or they will cover the shit up like nobody's business. And Disney is, if you look at Nintendo's like the Disney of the video game industry, right?
Yeah.
Old hat. They do business. They're old-fashioned capitalists.
Yeah. They got that old money.
Exactly. They have that old legacy money, and they have a legacy, and they have periods of popularity and unpopularity and prosperity and non-prosperity. Like, they're very much the Disney of video games, but much like how Disney operates, and Nintendo tends to kind of follow in Disney's footsteps with this sort of stuff. Sometimes Disney does provide a thorough internal investigation. I mean, recently just in the last year, due to the Me Too movement, they ousted John Lasseter from his, executive role as the head of Disney Animation, which is, I mean,
that's a big one.
Yeah, that was a big one. That's the guy who is responsible for, or arguably responsible for, I should say, not to give him too much credit or to overcredit him, arguably responsible for Disney's current success.
Yeah.
But he was also a notorious fucking creep, and he did not deserve to be in a position of authority or power.
And
they did the right thing, and he's no longer there. So they did the right thing. Will Nintendo do the same thing?
Probably.
Remains to be seen, but I feel like they might, which is... I'm not going to say I put my trust in them, because they're a company, and their main interests, of course, are themselves.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like this is
a
grounded
big
enough that they'll be like, dude, no.
Yeah.
No.
This is not the kind of publicity we want, especially when we're probably gearing up to kind of get a whole bunch of new shit out the door during the holidays.
And also, well, I mean, we don't live in Russia, so I guess maybe Nintendo of Russia does do some shit.
I wonder if they have, like, maybe...
I feel like it's marketing.
They probably work with localization and marketing.
It's probably just mostly localization and marketing.
Which would make sense, because, I mean, you'd have to. But, I mean, Nintendo of America doesn't really make too many games either, though they do. They're not really directly a dev studio or manufacturer. They are really just the American arm of Nintendo that localizes and distributes games. But you never know. Some interesting shit may happen.
Yeah.
That was all cool. I have one more bit of news that I was really interested in.
Do it.
So, as I'm sure nobody is surprised to know, because I've spoken about it before, I love DC Comics, and I watch all of their CW shows. And they're gearing up right now for the third major, I want to say, maybe more like the fourth major crossover between their TV properties. So this one's going to be called Elseworlds, and if you know anything about 90s comics particularly, Elseworlds is kind of DC's side imprint for stories that are set within the DC universe or using DC characters in interesting ways, and they're kind of not canon to the primary material.
So like
So
a slice of life DC.
yeah, or like Gotham by Gaslight, the
Okay,
steampunk
yeah.
Batman, which
Yeah,
is the
yeah.
first ever Elseworlds story. But there's tons of famous things are considered Elseworlds stories now. Like, I mean, The Dark Knight Returns is its own kind of universe, and there's a whole whack of stuff that is Elseworlds related. So yes, this new episode, this new crossover series of 3 episodes is going to be called Elseworlds. And it is a crossover specifically between Arrow, Flash, and Supergirl. And it will be the introduction of Batwoman into this universe of characters.
Yeah.
So this is the first introduction to major members of the Bat family within it. There have been Batman characters in Arrow and in Flash and in Supergirl previously, and there have been liberal mentions of like Bruce Wayne, Batman, Gotham City, Bloodhaven, all these places associated with the Batman mythos in the series. But this is the first proper time that they are going to Gotham City. They're going to Arkham Asylum. The main villain of the episode cycle, I guess, is going to be called, I think it's Dr. Psycho, who's like an Arkham Asylum scientist. So he's like, you know, a low tier Batman villain.
Yeah.
But Batwoman is going to be introduced, and the premise of the episode seems to be that Dr. Psycho has used powers that he has taken from the Monitor, who is the figure in the DC universe who kind of oversees their multiverse. He has found a way to kind of break the universes and kind of rearrange people's lives. So Flash is now living the Green Arrow's life, and Green Arrow is now living the Flash's life. And
Freaky Friday.
Pretty much. And there's just a whole whack of crossover stuff that's going to be happening in it. They're going to be crossing over briefly with John Wesley Shipp's Flash from the 90s Flash show. So, and he's already been a major cast member in the Flash TV show, but he's coming in to play his classic version of the Flash from the old show, which is really neat. They had him out on set in that Flash costume. And there's been pictures of the Green Arrow, or Barry Allen wearing the Green Arrow's hood, and the Green Arrow wearing Barry Allen's Flash suit, talking with like Batwoman and
just hanging out.
It looks wild. It looks wild. The Monitor, who looks really, really cool. But this stuff is gearing up. But there's a big piece of news kind of related to this. This is kind of, I think, indicative of the direction they're taking these shows. Initially, it seemed to be that, and it didn't just seem to be, but just factually was, that many of the characters that they use were like C, B, and D tier characters from the comics. They couldn't really use Superman. They couldn't really use any of those characters.
Because that's that big money licenses.
Exactly. And arguably the biggest character they had up into his introduction, the biggest character that they really had was Barry Allen.
Yeah.
And then they did a whole Flash show. So it kind of elevated, I think, the network's confidence, or DC's and Warner Brothers' confidence that they could make these heroes work in live-action properties on TV. So then you see Gotham comes out a couple of years later, and Gotham is a very successful show.
Yeah, it was really popular. I remember watching it.
Regardless of people's like thoughts on it, I have mixed feelings. I don't. Yeah. I honestly have negative feelings about it. Like, I don't care. Like, I have negative zero opinion on it. It's a show that I don't really watch.
Indifferent.
But exactly. But it shows how successful just Batman on his own can be on TV for a modern audience. It just seems like a fucking no-brainer to me. But apparently wasn't to them. Like, they were being stingy and wanted to keep
but you got
strictly for the movies.
People in marketing being like,
Exactly. But
the movies aren't doing good. Why would this
the movies
TV
weren't
show
doing
go?
good? And I think they somehow convinced them to get Supergirl to introduce their version of Superman into the show. And when they did that, I think the floodgates opened, because now we're getting a Batwoman show. Yeah. Now we're getting more major heroes appearing in these shows just in general. I mean, we're getting a Titan show, which inevitably is going. We have a Titan show, which inevitably is going to have Batman featured heavily in it. And I mean, Arrow already had Deathstroke as a major villain of one of its seasons.
Has my favorite DC character been introduced in anything? Amanda Waller.
She's in Arrow.
Oh, really?
I mean, she was.
Is she
died.
Oh
Yeah,
no.
she got
They
killed.
killed her.
Um,
Did she eradicate her entire team before she died though?
no, she
Because
didn't.
that's my
But she did
favorite.
run the Suicide Squad very briefly because there is a Suicide Squad in the Arrow universe. They had their own version of Deadshot and everything.
Weird.
But right before the Suicide Squad movie started production, they conveniently killed off most of those characters.
Whoops, where'd they go?
Yeah, exactly. Like Amanda Waller got fucking murdered, and replaced by, in her position as the head of Argus, the wife of one of the main characters of Arrow, who was an Argus agent to begin with, and was one of the people on the Suicide Squad. Like she was like their version of Rick Flag, I guess. So they've had like major characters before, but they have to use them very sparingly. But now you're seeing all these major characters come through, and now in this crossover, we're getting Lois Lane, we're getting Superman, like more of him, and it's just been revealed that we're also getting Lex Luthor later on in the year.
Oh boy.
We're finally getting out Lex Luthor, and he's being played by John Cryer from 2.5 Men.
Oh yeah.
Which is a strange casting
Question
decision.
marks?
On one hand, I kind of see it because he's a bald guy. And
he's a bald guy.
He's a bald man, and Lex Luthor is also a bald man. And if you look at him next to other versions of Lex Luthor,
you can
fine.
workshop it.
It totally works. On the other hand,
he's a funny man.
He's a funny man. Now, there is a great tradition, of course, of comedic actors taking serious roles and doing them well.
Yeah, it happens.
Eddie Izzard, for instance, on Hannibal.
Yeah.
Playing, I'm trying to remember what his name was, but he was one of the lesser antagonists from the tail end of season 1 of Hannibal, and he did a fantastic job playing that character. And he's just mostly a funny man. And you can see the same thing about actually some of the other actors on the show. I mean, Barry Allen and like the actor who plays Barry Allen, Grant Gustin, was previously kind of like a villain on the show Glee.
Yeah.
So kind of a goofster of an antagonist for like a bunch of kids in a Glee club, and is now like a hero, a straight up hero. So there's like a bunch of kind of wild shit going on. There's big developments being made, and there are characters that they previously couldn't use showing up now as part of their show, and as probably in main character capacity.
Which is probably the smartest thing DC can do right now, because like
those movies,
Marvel runs movies.
Yeah.
It's like
DC rules TV, and
they
know they
and
do.
Marvel shits TV.
Yeah.
Like every Marvel season
of the Marvel
of
TV
all the
shows
fucking
are fucking bad.
They all follow the same fucking structure of like, here's over arc, and then we'll add a little villain here right before the end, and then that'll wrap up conveniently around the same time that you wrap up the end, and that's the season.
Like and I mean, especially on network television, like Marvel streaming shows, I'll admit are like a cut higher than your typical network superhero show, with the exception of the CW series, but which I think are just about on par, but are tonally very different. But these, like Marvel's network television shows, like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I think is just a dreadfully, dreadfully boring show.
Yeah,
and there's so much about it that's cool.
That could be cool.
Like Ghost Rider was on like a whole half of a season.
Really?
Yeah, as one of the main characters of that season.
Well,
and it was the Robbie Reyes version of Ghost Rider, who is one of my favorite versions of the character. And they did him justice. The Johnny Blaze Ghost Rider appeared briefly, which was cool. Like they did a good job with that stuff. But Ghost Rider was kind of like a bit player in a bigger story.
Yeah. That
kind of ended up sucking. And then the rest of that season was about like the life model decoys, which are a really boring kind of stupid sci-fi clone saga bullshit.
Yeah.
It's really disappointing. That show is a squandered opportunity. I understand that recently there have been some interesting developments in it narratively, but I'm not.
It's too late.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
Like it didn't take me very long to enjoy The Flash, because that show hit a good stride early on and has arguably maintained it the whole time for pretty much its whole run. Maybe there's been a couple of like lower points, but everything has low points. The fact that it's been relatively consistent in terms of its writing and quality overall is much better than I can say for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which is, I mean, I've heard everybody say anything from literally do not fucking watch the first season
Yeah.
of the show, for God's sake. It's so boring.
Me and my girlfriend tried to start it, and like we got 15 minutes into an episode, and we were like, "Fuck this." Same thing with Iron Fist.
Yeah.
Jessica Jones, we could do.
Jessica Jones was good.
Daredevil season 1 clearly is like the best, I think.
Yeah. Season 3 was very good too. I'd recommend
Daredevil season 3's out.
Just came
I
out.
didn't even know.
It's got Bullseye in it.
It's fine.
I like that
don't know.
Bullseye.
Yeah.
But
I don't know. The Marvel TV shows are like. I
they're-
tried Luke Cage.
Luke Cage is all right.
It was okay, but
but
that's when you were like, all right, I'm seeing the Jessica Jones. I'm seeing
Yeah.
I'm seeing the formula.
I really, really liked Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
Both of those seasons, and then the first season of I want to say it's the first season of Daredevil, both seasons of Jessica Jones, and the second season of Luke Cage are all great.
They're good.
They're great
Yeah.
TV. Iron Fist is not
No.
good. The first season of Luke Cage is in the middle. There's parts of it
it's like
that are
this
very
gray
good.
spot that's like.
Parts of it are great and parts of it are
fine.
disappointing. It's about great. It's really great for 6 episodes.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
Then the narrative kind of has a slip up.
Yeah, and then but also then you're like 6 episodes in already, so you're already invested, and you're like,
Yeah.
I want to see this get good again, maybe.
Oh yeah,
and then
I
the season
wanna
ends,
see
and
it
you're like,
conclude, and it kind of
no.
didn't. It ended not with a bang, but with a whimper.
A wet fart.
Yeah, it was kind of a lame ending. But and then the second season of Daredevil, I think it's also another case
The
of it
best
being
part was that
half-
the Punisher was
yeah,
there. And
half
then
of it was good and half of it sucked.
Yeah.
Anything with the Hand sucked. Anything with the Punisher was good. The Punisher was just good.
Yeah,
that was
Punisher
a good
was
show.
fun.
That I also
It
almost
wasn't the
forgot
best
that
it could have been,
happened.
but
You know what? I think it was better than I think most people imagined it.
yeah, it was way
Yeah.
better than I thought it was gonna be.
Because I mean that.
But
that
I still-
that
I
show had
still
the
walked
potential
away
to
kind of
be
being
a huge
like,
crock
eh.
of garbage.
Yeah,
It could have easily been the worst of all of them, but they did some intelligent stuff with.
Yeah.
Like I think the characterization of Frank Castle was dead on.
yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, he wasn't just a fucking stoic, mean dude. You know,
No, yeah, he was pissed off.
he was pissed, but
And he still is pissed. He remains pissed
I
to
mean,
this day.
he's the Punisher. He's always mad.
Yeah.
He's the ticked gun nerd.
Gun.
There you go. He's the angry.
I
video
have a
game-
gun
he's the-
fetish and a grudge.
He's the angry video game nerd of killing criminals. But all that shit having been said, I think DC kind of has a good idea of what they're doing with these shows.
Yeah.
And because it's the CW, I'm pretty sure they're going to let them go for as long as they can. I mean, even Legends of Tomorrow, which is the one show that's not being... I guess the one show that's not participating in the crossover, and the reason they give, which is the reason I'm sympathetic to from the standpoint of somebody who admires the work writers put into stuff, is that it's practically impossible to work in the rest of these fucking characters to a storyline where they're already going to be introducing more characters.
Mm-hmm.
Because this season has to introduce, like, this crossover alone has to introduce Lois Lane, it has to introduce Batwoman, it has to introduce, like, the Batman universe into the series proper. And Legends of Tomorrow is like, hey, we've got a team of like fucking 6 heroes and slash villains and like a bunch of anti-heroes and shit.
Mm-hmm.
And there's just so many fucking characters on screen that point. It worked very good for the last crossover where they all fought the evil Nazi versions of themselves. But it was
Comic
also
books
kind of
are
like
stupid.
it was like a big battle, right?
Yeah,
So it
yeah.
had to have the scale of all the
Yeah.
characters fighting each other, or all of them banding together in the other crossover they did previously where they fought off an invading alien force called the Dominators, who are like the classic DC Comics alien invading characters.
And like, it's better to have all those characters on screen than to kind of do what Infinity War did.
Yeah.
Or no, Civil War.
Yeah.
Where like it's 6 people in a parking lot running at each other. Whereas in the
Exactly.
comics, it's like everybody's there.
Yeah, that's kind of...
So it was a little underwhelming,
There
but-
is that cool splash page moment in Civil War where they're all about to fuck each other up.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that could have been cooler.
Yeah.
It could have been cooler.
But
The cool thing that happens in it is that you see Giant Man,
yeah,
which is fucking awesome. And Spider-Man is there, which is also cool. But, yes,
the nameless partner defends the parking lot fight.
Yeah, okay. Well, you know what? He's not wrong, though. He says, I love my parking lot fight because it's Scarborough's Fox. My partner, by the way.
Nameless partner.
Yeah, my nameless partner, who will remain unnamed.
It's like in a JRPG where it's just a bunch of question marks over the name.
Yeah,
until
that's exactly
the name is announced.
He will remain unnamed.
Yeah.
But that is to say that he likes his parking lot fight because it's Scarborough as fuck.
He will remain unnamed, but his address is.
Yeah, exactly. But he lives in Scarborough. Whoa. It's not like you'll know where. There's one of the biggest fucking cities in North America in terms of population. Yeah, name redacted. His name is name redacted. But yeah, that is to say that I think the overall kind of experience of watching that big crossover, especially in comparison to the crossover that came out pretty much the same week, which was the Defenders miniseries, which sucked ass. Let me be frank. I thought Defenders was bad. I finally properly sat down.
I think that is what I was thinking about earlier. The Defenders and not Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. because I didn't touch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, okay.
We started the Defenders.
Defenders stinks. That show fucking sucks.
Man, Marvel dropping the ball constantly.
But yeah, the DC, the same week that came out, did the 4-part Arrowverse crossover where they all fought evil Nazis. And that shit was awesome. And it was ridiculous.
I love fighting Nazis.
But whereas fucking... Like, who are the villain of this? The evil Nazi versions of these characters. Who's the villains of the Defenders? 5 regular ninja folks in the Hand who fucking suck. Nobody likes the Hand. So it was, I don't know. I thought they did a really good job with that. But that's to say, I'm hyped for this shit. I hope it's good.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be good. Inevitably, it'll have to be because it's Batwoman. And she kicks ass. And I just can't wait to see how they do it. But it's going to be rad, I think.
Apparently Winnie the Pooh is censored in Japan.
Really?
I don't know. There's
in China, you mean?
Yeah, in China. Wow.
Oh, you know why, eh?
No.
Because Winnie the Pooh, the character, is illegal in China. You know why? Because people were comparing Xi Jinping, the president of China, to Winnie the Pooh online.
And he was like, fuck this.
And now he's like, Winnie the Pooh declared illegal in China.
Delete that bear.
This. Yeah, he deleted Winnie the Pooh.
Amazing.
He snapped his fingers and Winnie the Pooh disappeared from China.
Well, shit.
He Infinity Warred him. Bye, Pooh Bear.
Everyone else is fine, though.
But, yeah, no, everybody else is there. I mean, Rabbit, all them motherfuckers. But nope, none of that. No, we'll have no Pooh Bear here.
No Pooh. No Pooh in my China.
No Pooh in China. You heard it here first.
No Pooh in China.
In China, there was no Pooh. No, there was no
Pooh allowed.
It is illegal
to poo.
No Pooh allowed in China. But I'd say that's about it for this week. It's a short
week.
Yeah.
There's probably more news stories that we could have got, but we're both. Well, I'm sick as fuck. I don't feel great, and Ryan's got to go do scholastic activities.
Yeah, I have to go and study for a midterm on educational policy. Eat. There we go. I don't know if you ever saw that powerful, very cursed Winnie the Pooh meme that came out when the Christopher Robin movie was kind of coming out. But there was an image of like Winnie the Pooh with like the caption underneath, "Christopher Robin, you tried to kill me, but I'm back." And I'm just thinking Pooh Bear is going to do the same thing to Xi Jinping. President, you tried to kill me, but I'm back. I see that shit happening.
That's great.
But
yeah.
Needless to say, Winnie the Pooh not allowed in China.
Podcast canceled.
Yeah. Pooh Bear canceled.
Pooh Bear canceled. All right. So that was a week. We will be uploading this to our YouTube.
As we always do.
If you missed the first half or the whole episode.
Mm-hmm. And I'll do an MP3. Possible. I'll stick it in our mega folder.
Yes,
you can find it in the pinned post on our Twitter, which we now have.
Yeah. And we should, okay, our Twitter is game_punx.
Mm-hmm. GamePunx podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we should throw some shit up on SoundCloud.
Yeah, we probably could. Maybe 1 or 2 episodes as a sampler.
Yeah.
Because I know they have an upload limit.
Oh, they do?
They do, yeah.
That's
unfortunately.
great.
Bandcamp does as well, sadly. I mean, also Bandcamp only takes like lossless audio files. So
okay,
lossless audio file of a podcast Maybe not the
Sure.
wisest thing to put on there.
We'll figure out some other ways to throw it up around.
It should be okay. We'll figure it out. But for now, I mean, you can access us on Mega if you want the
Yeah.
MP3. Or
Facebook, catch us live Wednesday here on Twitch.
time depending, usually 3-ish.
Yeah.
But we went a little earlier today because snow.
Yeah, snow and school and feeling like shit.
Snow, school, and sickness. The 3 S's of ruining your day.
I will be streaming more Darksiders 2 possibly like an hour from now.
All right,
on my Twitch, Scratch Me Silly, SCRATCHMESILLY. Yeah, that's how you spell
I think you did it.
Letters
That's
are
a
good.
long one. That's true.
Yeah, it is.
That's really, really long. I just
And then you're like,
realized
how many letters?
spelling it out loud seemed kind of like a task.
It was. So
I
yeah, I'll
commend
probably
you
be
for
doing that.
succeeding.
I also upload everything I stream up to my YouTube, which is Scratch Me Silly Plays. And yeah,
I'd say that's pretty good.
that's that.
I think we've had a week.
Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be more to talk about next week.
Probably.
Hopefully you watch all the Titans. That'll be good shit.
Yeah, I can do that.
You're gonna
next
have a good time with that, I think.
Probably.
All
See you
right.
next week, everyone.
Yeah. Have a good week.
Boy.